Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you wherever you are in the world. Welcome to my channel. My name is Meg and I am a fully qualified yoga teacher, a beautician and a masseuse. And this is my YouTube channel where I talk a lot about yoga, tips and tricks and things that you guys can follow along from home to strengthen your practice, but also some health and wellness as well. So if that is something that you're interested in, go and hit the subscribe button even. And it means that every time I post onto my channel, you guys get a notification so you never miss a class with me. Today, this is a post-leg workout stretch. So if you've just done a leg workout in the gym, this is the stretch for you. Maybe you've just done a load of walking. Maybe your legs are just tired. This is the video for you. Yeah, we're going to be working on stretching through ankles, calves, hamstrings, quads, maybe a little bit into the glutes as well. You don't really need anything to do this stretch. I always recommend using a good quality mat onto a hardwood floor, but if you've not got a mat with you, not the end of the world. It's better to stretch regardless of if you've got a mat or not than to not stretch at all. If you want to use blocks and straps, you can do. Blocks, especially for this, might be a bit helpful if you've got really tight hamstrings, but see how you go and we'll go from there. And when you're ready, we will get started. We're going to start in a ragdoll from here. So we're going to start with our feet hip width apart. Your toes are facing forwards and we're going to melt over the legs here. Hands are down into the mat. Maybe bend into one knee and then the other. Just getting a bit of movement into the hamstrings, stretching them out. A nice stretch across those hamstrings. Relax the head down. Then maybe bending into one knee, holding it there for a second. And swapping over. And then we're going to take this one step further if you want. So maybe this just feels good enough for you, just bending into one knee and then the other. And if it does, just stay doing this. If this is enough on your hamstrings, just work with that. If not, we're going to bend into one knee. So my right knee is bent, my right hand is down into the mat and my left hand comes up towards the ceiling. Maybe you can then straighten into that right knee as well to get a deeper stretch. We'll swap over, bend into the left knee to begin with. Right hand comes all the way up, gazing up towards the ceiling, and then maybe straightening into that left knee as well. I actually personally find I get more of a stretch if I don't straighten the opposite leg. So I'm going to keep mine bent, but work with what feels best for you. Bending into one knee, taking the arm up. Few more here. And then we'll bring both hands down if they're not already and just work into one knee and then the other. Hold it here. Soft bend behind the knee. Think about lifting the tailbone up, relaxing over those legs. We'll place the hands down into the mat and we're going to walk back into your down dog. So your feet are shoulder width apart or hip width apart, toes are facing forward. If you need to take a deep bend into your knees and lift your heels, you can. Think about lifting your tailbone up high, chest is coming towards the thighs and you're pushing through the shoulders, creating or pushing the floor and the mat away from you. Breathing here. And then we'll bend again into one knee and then the other. Working through those hamstrings just a little bit more. Couple more here. And then we're going to step one leg up to the top of the mat, turning to face the long edge of the mat. We're coming into a wide leg fold from here. So we're going to take the outside or the heels slightly out and the toes are facing slightly in. Just hang here for a second, get yourself used to it. Maybe placing the hands down into the mat. You can always use your blocks here. So you can always place your blocks down and place your hands onto a block. We'll then start to shuffle the hips from side to side. Get yourself used to being here, moving around with those hips. Maybe coming into a halfway lift, so your hips are still up onto the fingertips, halfway, finding nice strength here. And you can always rock from one side to the other. So imagine you're almost like a snake. So you're rocking your hips one side to the other and the chest is kind of following. Again, just getting yourself used to this movement, being here. This might be something that takes a little bit of time and practice to get used to. And then we'll bring it into the center. So you're in your halfway lift here, and we're going to take a deep bend behind the knees, and this is just going to really hit into those hamstrings. Think about lifting your tailbone up towards the ceiling, keeping halfway up. Your knees are coming in towards your body, supporting you with your hands. Find that stretch here. Couple more breaths in and out. In. And we'll bring the knees all the way down now. We're going to lay all the way down onto our backs to come into our figure 4 stretch. So we're going to pick up the right foot, take it onto the outside of the left leg. Maybe take a second here and just push that knee away from you so you're getting a bit of stretch into the hip. Take a second. Keep pushing that knee away. You can use your hand or you can use your muscles. Bring it back into the center, and we'll start to peel up the toes on the left-hand side, bringing that knee in towards you. You'll then thread your hands through the legs, placing it onto the thigh or maybe onto the shin. Squeeze that left knee in towards you and push the right knee away from you, flexing through your right foot. You can always lift your head up as well if it feels comfortable to get more of a stretch into your glute. Relax the shoulders wherever you are. Keep squeezing that left knee in towards you and pushing your right knee away from you. Deep breath in. Exhale, we'll bring it all down. We're going to swap over and do the same thing on the other side. So we're picking up the left leg, right knee is bent, taking the outside of the left foot to the outside of the right thigh. Push the hip away just for a moment, get a good stretch into the hip. And then we'll pick up the toes on the right foot. So we're bringing the knee back into the center first. Bring up the toes and squeeze that knee in towards you. Then you can thread your hands and place them either on the thigh or onto the shin. Keep that left foot flexed. As you inhale, you're using your muscles to push that right knee in towards you. And as you exhale, you're using your muscles to push your left knee away. If you want more, you can pick up the head to get a bit more of a stretch. So you're trying to bring the knee in towards the nose. Relax the shoulders. Few more breaths here. Exhale, we'll bring everything down. If you were lifting your head up off the ground like I was, just rock the head from side to side. Bring that neck back into neutral. And then we're going to come all the way up into a cross-legged seat. And if you can, we're going to roll over the knees and the shins into your tabletop. And we're going to come into our pigeon from here. So we're lifting up the right knee, and we're going to take the right knee behind the right hand and see if you can swing the foot so the right foot sits behind the left hand. Your hand should be underneath your shoulders. We're then pushing the left knee back and behind, flexing through the right toes, holding this here. We're going to stay up onto the hands to begin with, and then we'll shuffle forwards into your fallen pigeon. You should feel a good stretch across into the hip. Square your hips forwards. Don't let your left hip roll up. Keep it squared down. Breathe here. We'll then slowly come down onto the forearms. We're going to take this into a fallen pigeon. So it's just going to work a little bit more into the glute. And if you can't feel a stretch, just take your front foot and start to walk it up towards the top of the mat, and that will give you a bit more of a stretch into the glute, so it will just work into the hip and the glute a bit more. If your hips are not very open, you won't be able to move that foot, so just work and see what works best for you. The closer the foot is in towards the body, the gentler the stretch is going to be. Couple more breaths here. And then we're going to come back up onto the hand and pick up the back foot. So you can either use your muscles to squeeze it in towards you, or maybe you can grab the foot with your hand, or you can use a strap here. Getting a good stretch. This is taking this into the quad and into the hip as well. Lifting that left foot. Make sure you're spreading through your right hand, so you're pushing the floor and the mat away from you. Couple more breaths. Relax that hip, relax the body. We'll take the foot down and we'll swap over and do the same on the other side. So we're going to take the left knee behind the left hand and spin the foot so the left foot sits behind the right hand. Taking it down and then walking your back knee behind you to get a good stretch here. Flexing through the left toes. Couple more breaths. Keep tall through the hands. Like I said, if you're not getting a stretch and your foot is in towards the body, walk it further up, and that will work the hips a little bit more, and it will just take it into the glute a little bit more. Getting my muscles mixed up there. And then we'll come into our fallen pigeon, coming down onto the forearms. You don't have to do this if it feels too much. You can always place your arms on a block as well if it feels better. Breathing here. Really opening up into the glute. And we'll come up onto the hands. Same thing again, you can either use your muscles and just squeeze that right foot up and in towards the body, or maybe walk the left hand into the center a little bit more and hold the foot with your hand. Find where you get the best stretch for your hip and your quad and hold it there. Breathing here. Couple more breaths. Exhale to let it go. We're going to come into our last stretch from here. So bring the left knee back and we're going to swing the legs out in front, sitting onto your bottom. We're going to come into our staff pose from here. We're going to start with flexed toes, and so that we're working through the hamstrings, and then we're going to point the toes, so we're getting a bit more into the top of the shins and the top of the feet. flexing through the toes. We're going to sit up through the spine and through the hips, and try and imagine you're leading with the chest. So if you need to take a bend behind the knees, absolutely fine. Just find where you get your best hamstring stretch for you and stay there. So you can hold on to the shins, the ankles, the toes. You can use a strap and just wrap it around the feet to pull you if you prefer, and find what feels best for you. Relax here. Keep flexing through the toes to get that stretch into the hamstrings. And then we're going to point the toes from here. So think about stretching the big toes away from you and getting a stretch across the shins and across the tops, the ankles and the tops of the feet. You can again hold onto the ankles, the shins. If you can grab hold of the heels, that then helps to kind of get a bit more of a deeper stretch because you're kind of pulling the heels up and towards you. Couple more breaths. Maybe let the chest relax further down here. And we'll slowly come all the way up. Roll the toes out if they need it. Give the legs a wiggle if they need it. And come back to earth. Breathe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. This is such a good one, like I said, for legs, regardless if you've been in the gym, if you've been running, whatever it is. This is just brilliant to open up through the hamstrings, through the shins, through the calves, through the ankles. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and please subscribe if you haven't already. It really does mean the absolute world to me every time you guys subscribe, like, comment. Even when you watch my channel, it really does make a difference. So thank you so much for supporting me. If you sent me super thanks as well, which you can do to contribute to this channel, again, it absolutely means the world to me. And I look forward to practicing with you all again soon. Have a fabulous rest of the day. Bye.